Hidden beneath dust and disbelief lie relics of human ingenuity that baffled our ancestors and still puzzle us today. From celestial calculators to weapons of liquid fire, these ancient marvels whisper secrets of lost knowledge. Join us as we unearth 10 ancient technologies so advanced they defy modern science. The world's first analog computer, an ancient machine so advanced it could have passed for a steampunk invention if it weren't 2,000 years old. In 1900, sponge divers off the coast of Antikythera, Greece, stumbled upon a shipwreck buried beneath the Aegean Sea. Among the statues, pottery, and wreckage, they found something that didn't belong, a chunk of corroded bronze packed with gears. At first glance, it looked like mechanical junk, but over time, researchers realized they were holding the remains of the Antikythera Mechanism, a gear-driven device built around 100 BCE. Now here's the wild part. This thing wasn't just a decorative artifact. It was a fully functional analog computer, capable of tracking solar and lunar cycles, eclipses, planetary positions, and even predicting the dates of the ancient Olympic Games. Some of the gears were smaller than your thumbnail, working together in intricate ways modern engineers still scratch their heads at. And here's the kicker. Nothing even remotely like it shows up in the historical record again until the 14th century. In 2006, high-resolution X-ray scans blew the case wide open, uncovering internal gear trains and hidden inscriptions. It's now considered one of the most sophisticated pieces of ancient engineering ever found. Historian Dr. Tony Freeth called it the Rosetta Stone of ancient technology. Satellite mapping of the original shipwreck site revealed a spread of debris that suggests the mechanism may have been one of many, possibly from a whole workshop or factory on shore that's still waiting to be uncovered. From above, the wreck site looks like someone dropped a giant clock into the sea, and time quite literally stood still. Who built it? How many were made? And what else have we missed under the waves? We may never know, but one thing's for sure, the ancient world was way ahead of its time. The Baghdad Battery. Ancient electricity or myth? A battery buried beneath the ancient sands of Mesopotamia, more than 2,000 years before the modern electrical age. In the 1930s, archaeologists digging in Qujut Rabu, near Baghdad, Iraq, uncovered a strange artifact, a simple earthenware jar housing a copper cylinder and an iron rod. This curious object, now known as the Baghdad Battery, dates back somewhere between 250 BCE and 250 CE. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than an old container, but when researchers in the 1970s filled one replica with vinegar or lemon juice, it generated a small electrical voltage. That's when the questions started piling up. What was this battery for? Without wires, light bulbs, or any clear electrical devices, the battery's purpose remains a mystery. Some suggest ancient alchemists or craftsmen might have used it for electroplating, a technique to coat precious metals. Others propose it was used for medicinal shocks, a primitive form of therapy. The idea that people so long ago understood electricity, even on a basic level, is astonishing. The intrigue deepened in the 2010s, when ground-penetrating radar surveys uncovered dozens more jars in what appeared to be clustered workshops. This suggests the Baghdad Battery wasn't a one-off curiosity, but possibly part of an early electrochemical industry. From above, drone footage reveals excavation trenches etched into the earth, weaving a pattern that looks suspiciously like ancient circuitry, a tantalizing hint that long before Tesla and Edison, the seeds of electrical knowledge were quietly buried in the sands. Whether it powered a lost technology or was just a scientific curiosity, the Baghdad Battery challenges our assumptions about ancient innovation and leaves us wondering what other forgotten sparks await discovery. Roman concrete that grows stronger underwater. Sounds like sci-fi, right? But the Romans figured it out over 2,000 years ago. Their secret weapon, a type of concrete so resilient it's still holding up ancient harbors today, long after modern structures would have crumbled into dust. This isn't your average sidewalk mix. The Romans used it to build sea walls, piers, and breakwaters all around the Mediterranean. And while modern concrete starts deteriorating after just 50 to 100 years, especially in saltwater, Roman maritime concrete literally strengthens as time goes on. It all comes down to one ingredient: volcanic ash. In places like Portus at Ostia, Italy, researchers studied samples dating back to 100 BCE. They found that when seawater hits this ash-lime mixture, it triggers a chemical reaction, causing minerals to grow and fill in cracks over time. It's like the concrete is self-healing. In 2017, satellite imagery picked up on submerged ruins glowing with dense mineral growths, solid evidence that these structures aren't just surviving, they're evolving. From above, the ancient harbor looks like a bone-white skeleton resting on the seafloor, its joints sealed with shimmering crystals. Materials scientist Marie Jackson, who's been studying this ancient formula, called it the most durable building material on Earth. Here's the mind-blower. Despite all our modern advancements, we still haven't created a marine concrete that can do what the Romans did by hand, with simple tools and natural ingredients. Some experts think we've lost an entire branch of materials science, forgotten knowledge buried in time. Damascus Steel, the legendary blade science can't replicate. Originating in ancient India and later perfected in the forges of Damascus between 1000 and 1700 CE, these blades were known for their razor edge, mysterious, watered patterns, and near-mythical durability. Warriors swore they could slice through a rifle barrel or split a hair in midair. When modern metallurgists analyzed real Damascus steel samples, they were flawed. Inside, they found carbon nanotubes and cementite nanowires, complex microstructures you'd expect to see in a lab, not in a 1,000-year-old sword. These patterns weren't just decorative, they were the secret to its strength. But here's the kicker. Despite centuries of trying, no one's been able to truly replicate it. Modern versions fall short, either in sharpness, flexibility, or that signature ripple pattern. Why? Because the original method was lost. The knowledge vanished as the trade routes collapsed and the steel's source, woot steel from India, became rare. In 2020, remote sensing scans in Tamil Nadu, India, detected buried slag heaps near ancient blacksmith villages. Some archaeologists believe they're sitting on lost forges that may hold the answer. Even satellite mineral surveys have picked up unusual iron ore veins in the region, glowing like liquid silver in the heat maps, possibly the key to that perfect mix. Metallurgist Dr. F. Javier Gil summed it up best. They wielded nanotechnology long before Edison. Think about that. Centuries before microscopes, these ancient smiths were engineering blades on a nanoscale. Whatever they knew, they took it to the grave. But their steel, it still holds an edge. Greek fire, history's most terrifying lost weapon. A mysterious liquid inferno, first unleashed by the Byzantine Empire in the 7th century. When Arab fleets surrounded Constantinople, the Byzantines retaliated with something that looked like black magic. Sprayed from bronze siphons mounted on ships, Greek fire ignited the enemy's wooden vessels in seconds. Sailors panicked. Water did nothing. In fact, it made it worse. We still don't know exactly what it was made of. Historians believe it might have been a mix of naphtha, quicklime, sulfur and pine resin. But the exact recipe, lost. The creators kept it so secret, they didn't even write it down. When their lineage ended, so did the formula. Countless modern attempts to recreate Greek fire have either fizzled out or exploded. Literally. Military historian Dr. James Partington dubbed it the medieval world's stealth weapon. And he's not wrong. From orbit, the harbor fortifications form a ring of stone like a guardian's crown, designed not to launch arrows, but to project fire. It was more than a weapon. It was psychological warfare, a burning storm from the sea that whispered one message loud and clear: don't mess with Byzantium. And to this day, Greek fire remains one of the most terrifying and unsolved technological mysteries of the ancient world. The Phaistos Disc. Imagine someone inventing the printing press over 3,000 years before Gutenberg. Sounds impossible, until you meet the Phaistos Disc. Unearthed in 1908 at the ruins of Phaistos on the island of Crete, this baked clay disc is one of archaeology's biggest mysteries. It dates back to around 1700 BCE and features 241 distinct symbols arranged in a spiral on both sides. But here's the mind-blowing part. Those symbols weren't carved, they were stamped, each one pressed in with a reusable seal, like ancient movable type. Let that sink in. Whoever made this thing wasn't just writing, they were printing, which makes it potentially the earliest known example of mechanical text reproduction in human history. But here's where it gets weird. We've never found another disc like it. No matching stamps, no workshop, no instructions, just this single clay disc standing alone in the dust of the Bronze Age. That gap has fueled debate for over a century. Then, in 2018, linguist Dr. Sandra Killian suggests this could have been the dawn of an ancient printing revolution, one that sparked, flared brightly, then vanished before it could spread. The Nazca Lines, desert drawings visible from space. Imagine drawing a picture so massive, so perfectly measured that no one could fully see it until humans learned to fly. The mystery of the Nazca Lines, one of Earth's strangest artistic achievements. Etched into the bone-dried desert plains of southern Peru between 500 BCE and 500 CE, these giant geoglyphs depict hummingbirds, monkeys, spiders, and strange geometric shapes, some stretching over 200 meters long. And they're not just rough sketches. These are clean, deliberate lines, carved into the topsoil with mind-blowing precision. Here's the strange part. They're almost impossible to see from the ground. You'd walk right through a figure and have no idea you were stepping over ancient artwork. The true beauty of the Nazca Lines only reveals itself from high above, prompting a massive how for archaeologists. Because as far as we know, the Nazca people had no balloons, planes, or drones. So how did they map out these giant figures so accurately? In 2018, drought conditions exposed previously unseen geoglyphs, detected by satellite radar and drone imaging. Turns out, what we've discovered so far might just be the tip of the iceberg. Anthropologist Maria Reicher, who dedicated her life to studying the lines, believed they were astronomical calendars or ceremonial paths used for sky worship. Others suggest they marked underground water sources or had spiritual significance tied to fertility and survival in the desert. From satellite views, the Nazca Desert looks less like barren land and more like a cosmic circuit board, an ancient signal carved into the earth itself. The lines fan out across the plain like whispers to the sky, still echoing a message we haven't fully decoded. Whatever their purpose, one thing's certain. The Nazca knew how to leave a mark, quite literally, one visible from space. The Great Pyramid's hidden void, secrets beneath Giza. Just when we thought we knew everything about the Great Pyramid, it reminded us it still has secrets to keep. The Great Pyramid of Giza, completed around 2560 BCE, has stood for over 4,500 years, an icon of ancient ingenuity and ambition. But in 2017, scientists pointed cosmic ray detectors at its limestone walls, and what they found shook the archaeological world. A team using muon radiography, a cutting-edge technique that tracks subatomic particles from space, discovered a massive hidden void above the Grand Gallery. It's not a tiny crawl space. It's a chamber the size of a subway car, just sitting there, untouched for millennia. So what's it doing there? That's the mystery. It could be a storage vault, a symbolic ritual space, or, according to archaeologist Dr. Hirokatsu Watanabe, an intentional void used to balance structural loads. Maybe it's none of those. No one's been inside, and no direct path leads to it. It's a ghost room sealed off in stone. Satellite thermal imaging revealed unexplained temperature fluctuations on the pyramid's eastern face, like something hidden just behind the stones, possibly a passage or another chamber waiting to be found. From above, satellite constellations cast the pyramid in sharp relief, its shape forming a perfect shadow grid over the Giza Plateau. It's as if the monument isn't just standing there, it's whispering to the skies, guarding something deep within. We've studied it for centuries, and still, it keeps its secrets. Every new scan feels like a heartbeat from the past, reminding us that the Great Pyramid wasn't just built to impress. It was built to endure, to conceal, and maybe to outsmart the future. Statues so massive they look immovable, yet legend says they walked, not metaphorically, literally walked. We're talking about the Moai of Easter Island, those iconic towering stone heads carved by the Rapa Nui people between 1250 and 1500 CE. There are nearly 900 of them scattered across the island, some standing over 30 feet tall and weighing more than 80 tons. And for years, nobody could figure out how ancient islanders transported these giants without wheels, metal tools, or even large animals. The island's terrain is rugged, volcanic, and remote. No signs of massive roadways, no dragging scars. So, how'd they do it? In a twist that sounds like a myth but checks out scientifically, recent experiments and drone-assisted remote sensing suggest the Moai may have been walked upright, rocked side to side by ropes in a rhythmic, choreographed motion. Picture a team of people shifting a fridge across a kitchen floor. Now scale that up by 80 tons. In 2012, LiDAR surveys of the ancient quarry and the trails leading from it revealed parallel grooves in the earth, almost like the footprints of the technique itself. These patterns match the motion path needed to make the statues walk. Anthropologist Carl Lipo, who helped lead the studies, put it perfectly. They mastered physics through choreography. It wasn't brute force, it was finesse, teamwork, and timing. From aerial views, the ancient pathways cut through the island like performance notes on a stage. You can almost imagine the statues lining up, waiting for their cue to shuffle into place. Far from being just mysterious relics, the Moai are a masterclass in human ingenuity and a reminder that ancient civilizations understood movement, balance, and cooperation on a level we're only beginning to rediscover. Heng's seismoscope, the first earthquake detector. An earthquake detector before the fall of Rome, without electronics, wires, or even a concept of tectonic plates. In 132 CE, Chinese polymath Zhang did exactly that. His invention, a device so ahead of its time it sounds like science fiction, a bronze urn, elegantly crafted, surrounded by 8 dragon heads, each clutching a metal ball in its jaws. Below them, 8 toads sat open-mouthed, waiting. The moment a distant earthquake trembled through the earth, the internal pendulum shifted, no shaking required, triggering a single dragon to drop its ball into a toad's mouth. The direction the ball fell, that was the direction of the quake's epicenter. It was simple, beautiful, genius. What makes it even more jaw-dropping? No original model survives. We only know of it through ancient Chinese texts, yet modern scientists have recreated it based on those descriptions, and one test even matched reports of a real earthquake in 138 CE, nearly 400 kilometers away. Seismologist Dr. Susan Hauf calls Zhang's device the world's first early warning system. It didn't just detect tremors, it decoded them. The past is full of secrets that still defy our understanding, and these ancient technologies remind us how much we've yet to uncover. If you're fascinated by mysteries that challenge everything we think we know, you've just scratched the surface. For more mind-blowing discoveries and deep dives into history's greatest enigmas, like this video and subscribe to Mystic Archives. Hit the bell so you never miss a secret waiting to be uncovered.